the CEO of BlackRock is on TV doing a international marketing campaign, beginning an international marketing campaign for Bitcoin at this moment in time, happening right in front of your face. So what this means is that they've got all their ducks in order and they know what the next 5 moves are going to be. Here's what I predict the next 5 moves are going to be. You're going to get ETF approval. You're going to get Bitcoin is now ESG friendly. You're now going to get capital pivoting from ESG investments into Bitcoin. Then you're going to get BlackRock waiting to see what the performance is like, to show the performance. And then the iShares sales team, which is their ETF department, is going to get on board in a bigger way and start selling the ETF more. In the meantime, what BlackRock will be doing for their private clients behind the scenes, this is just the ETF side I'm talking about. Behind the scenes, what they'll be doing is buying up Bitcoin infrastructure. They'll be buying up mining companies. They'll be buying up miner production companies. They'll be buying up energy companies. They'll be buying up all of these companies that have, you know, layer 2 exposure to, or layer 2 or 3 exposure to Bitcoin. Then the next step will be BlackRock will go and create investments in companies like Strike, companies like whatever David Marcus builds next on Bitcoin, right? All of these companies will start getting investment from BlackRock, because this is how BlackRock wins. They have their tentacles in every layer of the underlying investment. It's the similar way to the way that I build my portfolio. I have the macro play, which is Bitcoin, right? In this scenario, for them, it's their ETF. Then I have a layer 2 play to that, which is for me, the public miners. And then they have a layer 3 play to that, which for me is call options on those public miners, which is a call option on the Bitcoin. So there's a strategic way that they come and take over and profit the most from their ad. There's a reason why BlackRock decided to go and buy up forest land when they started pitching ESG and carbon emissions, right? This is exact. Everything I'm talking about is not new here. They've done this, they've got a blueprint for it, and they're doing it. The #1 most powerful asset manager in the world is on television, national television, stating that Bitcoin is a flight to quality. Bitcoin is currently on a path to becoming a store of value. And in order to become a store of value, you need the people that actually hold the value to acknowledge it as a store of value. Whether you like it or not, BlackRock manages $11 trillion or whatever it is of assets under management, of AUM. And the top 500 asset managers in the world control $130 trillion. $130 trillion of liquid assets in just the top 500 asset managers in the world. So if something is going to become a store of value, surely the people that are being depended on to maintain the value and store that value and grow that value need to be on board to understand what Bitcoin is. Surely that's the case. Surely we can agree at least on that. And that's what's happening now. If Bitcoin is going to become a store of value like we all know it is, it actually needs the damn value to go into it. It actually needs the decision makers of that value to put that value into Bitcoin. That actually needs to happen for it to be a store of value. Therefore, Bitcoin has to co-opt the Larry Finks of the world, you know, the Fidelities of the world, the ARK Invests of the world, the Ray Dalios of the world, etc., the Warren Buffetts of the world. They have to understand it as a store of value for it to become a store of value. So that's why, to me, the single most important event for Bitcoin is this ETF. Because this ETF is how in modern times, in modern history, we have decided to allocate our value is through ETFs and through the ETF models. And so that is happening. So BlackRock coming in is great. I don't think BlackRock can screw with the network. I don't think any of that can happen. By the time BlackRock gets enough control over enough Bitcoin, considering there's 8 different ETF applications. So when you type in Bitcoin ETF, there's going to be 8 different ETFs that come up. Right? And sure, 1 or 2 of them might close, 1 or 2 of them might open after this. But overall, there's competition in the market. In order for BlackRock to acquire as much Bitcoin to be able to make any significant amount of ability to control, the price would run away from BlackRock. So the more monetary energy that comes into the monetary network, the more solid the monetary network gets. And that's why BlackRock coming in is very, very important, right? And of course, it's not just BlackRock, it's all of these asset managers. Them coming in is a great signal for the next step of store of value that Bitcoin needs to emerge into. And then we'll see whether it gets to the actual ability to be the utility, right? The actual, whether we can actually price things in Satoshis or not. I have always said I don't think we get to that point, but I think Bitcoin becomes a store of value like real estate. I think Michael Saylor, for me, described the best perfect scenario for the next 50 to 60 years in the world, and that would be a mobile wallet, right? And on one side, you have your Bitcoin, where you use as a savings technology. And then on the other side, you have your digital US dollars, and you can send then US dollars around the world without any issues, right? That I thought was pretty innovative. Now, whether you agree with a digital US dollar or not, that's I'm not talking about that at this point. What I'm talking about is the idea that anyone anywhere in the world can not only save with the best tool in the world, which is Bitcoin, but can also transact with the best tool in the world, which is US dollars. How many countries' central banks can be collapsed and molded into one if you have the ability to get US dollars around the world? Right? Very quickly, very, very efficiently, straight to people's handsets. And so that, I think, is the continuation of the US dollar empire. And BlackRock jumping into it is very, very important. BlackRock coming into it sends some important signals. It sends a signal that BlackRock has done enough research to co-opt this asset as a flight to quality. The velocity is going to increase, and they're going to create this environment where they control the majority of the infrastructure, the majority of the layer 2, level 3, layer 3 plays, and then they're going to give you money for your Bitcoin. What I mean give you money is ride the price up, take your Bitcoin. You're going to be sitting there going, oh my God, Bitcoin's $1 million. I'm going to sell some Bitcoin and pay for my kids and this, that, and the other and go on holiday and all this other shit. And BlackRock's going to say, yeah, we'll give you $1 million. Cool, no problem. Why? Because the next phone call they'll make is to a sovereign wealth fund, and they'll get $300 billion allocation because now Bitcoin's $1 million. The sovereign wealth fund gets triggered because it's a high enough market cap, and now it's a $20 trillion market cap, and now the sovereign wealth fund can start playing. That's how BlackRock's game works. So it is good for Bitcoin because it promotes the idea of Bitcoin as a store of value, and they are the biggest asset manager in the world. So therefore, having them on board actually rubber stamps Bitcoin as a store of value, because they are trusted to dictate and pick what the stores of value are. But it's bad for you because they're coming after your damn Bitcoin. If you don't understand how this game is being played right now and how serious it is for you, you're never going to get it. And most importantly, the worst part about this is that if you don't get it right now, you won't have another chance, because there is only 21 million Bitcoin. What are you going to do? What are you going to do when you're making $50, $60, $100,000 a year and Bitcoin's sitting at $1 million a year? And you're sitting there going, you know, oh, maybe I should have learned about it. Maybe when that crazy guy, British Hodl, was telling me that I should learn about it, I should have actually taken a second to learn about it. Maybe when Larry Fink said it was a good, you know, flight to quality, I should have actually learned about it. Most people are so comfortable living their life in regret. And that's the issue. Most people are so entirely comfortable living their life in regret that they'll be happy to do it again, because they've been trained to do it over and over again. Why? Because the dream is always available. You can live in comfort, you can live in regret, and then one day, whenever you get serious, there will always be a property for you to buy. There will always be a stock for you to buy. Guess what? There will not be any more Bitcoin for you to buy. That's why this is important right now, and the window is closing, and I need you guys to help me spread this message to as many people as possible. This is why I'm doing these videos, and I know, let's say it over and over again, I won't be here in 8 years. There's no value in me being here in 8 years. This is a now situation, because BlackRock is not only coming, it's here, and every one of their friends is here. So they're going to start acquiring Bitcoin, and you need to start educating yourself, not only into just holding, just buying Bitcoin. That's not what I'm saying. You need to, if you're a Bitcoiner, you need to start educating yourself on how do I generate liquidity on my Bitcoin without selling it, right? You need to educate yourself on what are the price fluctuations and things I need to pay attention to in order to understand when to generate liquidity so that I don't lose my Bitcoin. Start getting smarter, because the big boys are not only coming, they're now here. And they're going to come for everything. They don't just come for a small portion of it. They're going to come for everything. And they will have no issues giving you $1 million for your Bitcoin and laughing at you celebrating on Instagram that you took a fucking holiday. And despite that, there's still only 3 rules to Bitcoin. Step number 1, you buy Bitcoin. Step number 2, you shut the fuck up. And step number 3, you get fabulously wealthy.